Bree here. Today I wanted to talk about gas tanks. Why do I want to talk about gas tanks? What does a gas tank have anything to do with mindset or mindset reset or living your best life, right? So I want you to think of your gas tank in your car. Some of us keep our gas tank full, like my mom. My mother, ever since I was a little girl, my mom, she's like, oh, I have 3/4 of a tank. I need to go fill up my gas. And is probably why I do the opposite of that. But I literally will drive on fumes and then fill up my gas tank. So the more miles you drive, right? You drive miles, you do work, right? Because you're driving, your car is working. So it's lessening the gas tank. The more you work, the more you lessen the gas tank. And then, whether you're at 3/4 of a tank and you want to fill it back up again, or whether you're all the way empty and you need to refill it back up again, is what we're going to talk about. And we're going to talk about how we're filling it back up again. And then how that applies to work, and how that applies to energy, and how that applies to, we can talk about how we're moving the needle in our business, how we're moving the needle in our work, how we're moving the needle in our everyday life when we're cleaning our house, anything that you're moving the needle in. That's what it's called, moving the needle. Okay, so let's say you're driving around your car and you drive all the way to San Diego. That's how that gives me like a half a tank. So you drive all the way to San Diego and then you need to drive back. You need to fill up your gas tank first. What are you going to fill it up with? This is the trick question. What are you going to fill it up with? You need to fill it up with water? No. Water's good. Water will make you as a human survive, but not your car. And so even though water's good, you're not gonna put water in your gas tank. You're gonna put air in your gas tank? No. You as a human need air to survive, but your car doesn't need air. It will not work. So you have to put gas. And you know what else? You can't even put, you have to put a certain type of gas in your car. And so you cannot put diesel in your car if your car is not a diesel. You have to put regular gas in. And then there's the levels of the gas. You can do the cheaper gas, or you can do the middle gas, or you can do the more expensive gas, depending on what you want. So the same, whether you put the cheapest gas or the most expensive gas, it's gonna fill your car up. But is it gonna be good for your car, or is it gonna be not so good for your car? You're gonna get the best quality gas versus the okay quality gas. There's even in diesels, and this is all gonna make sense, but there's even in diesel cars, which I learned this, not the hard way because it didn't break, but we had a diesel engine, and did you know that there's summer diesel and winter diesel? There's summer fuel and winter fuel. So summer fuel can get hotter, but then it also can't get cold. Winter fuel is a little bit harder to find, especially in California, because we don't necessarily get that cold. But winter fuel, I think it's number 1, it doesn't freeze. So what happens to summer fuel, when you take summer fuel into your car and then you go into a winter environment, like a cold environment, it will gel, which you can't start your car if your car gels. So you have to pick and choose what gasoline you're putting in your car. Now, to take that analogy and put it into work, I have 30 items on my list. I have a 30 line item list right now of things that I need to do. Now, not all of those are gasoline. Not all of those are the gasoline that's gonna be most productive to my car. Not all of those items on my list are gonna move my needle, right? And my gas tank. Now, let's talk about work, right? Let's talk about business. Whether you're working in an office, or whether you work in retail, or whether you work in the restaurant industry, or whether you're working from home right now, you have a ton of items on your list. I feel like everybody always has a million things on their list. Not everything on that list is gasoline. Some of those things are water. Like, yes, it's necessary to do this, but is it necessary right now to do this? You need to pick and choose what is gonna fill your gas tank, what is gonna move the needle. And I promise you, if you pick one thing versus 10 things that aren't going to move the needle, if you pick one thing that's going to move the needle, you're every single day. So instead of being overwhelmed by what you need to do, if you pick one thing, then you're going to be able to be good to go, right? It's really, really hard, especially for a busybody, especially for a list maker like me. It's really hard to just pick one thing and work on that one thing, because I want to work on 15 things. But the 15 things that I'm working on, that might not be what's going to move my needle. I'm going to also put it into context of cleaning your house. So who has, and you can raise your hand, you can yell at the screen, who here has cleaned their house last minute before guests were coming over? Just did it a few weeks ago. Cleaned my house, randomly ran around and cleaned my house as much as I possibly could before my guests were coming over. Now, my guests are my best friends, and so they don't necessarily care that my house is dirty, but I care that my house is dirty. So I ran around and picked stuff up all over the place. Now, if we think about the gas tank and moving the needle, they're not gonna see the inside of my closet. They're not gonna open my refrigerator. They're not going to see the inside of my bathtub, right? What are they gonna see? They're gonna see the big areas. So even though I really need to clean my bathtub, even though I really need to deep clean my bathroom right now, they're not gonna see that. And so what's gonna move the needle? What am I gonna be able to get done, get going, so that my friends can come over, right? I'm gonna have to take the trash out. I'm gonna have to wash the dishes. I'm gonna have to pick up anything that's on the floor. I'm gonna make my bed. I'm gonna take, I already said take the trash out. I'm gonna wipe down all the counters, right? I'm gonna organize just a little bit, but I'm not deep cleaning, right? I'm not going through, we all have one. I'm not going through my shit drawer and organizing that. That, yes, that is important, but that's water to my gasoline tank, right? I do not need to go through that. So we thought about it in work. We thought about it in cleaning our houses. Let's also think about it. And we've also thought about it in our cars, right? Because it's filling the gas tank, it's moving the needle. Let's think about self-care. Okay? Who here has randomly, I did it yesterday, who here has randomly done an extreme amount of self-care in one day? Right? So I've gone 4 weeks without touching my face with any type of serum, any type of moisturizer, any type of anything. And then yesterday I just put 8 products on my face. Is that filling my cup? Is that filling my gas tank? Is that moving the needle in terms of so it's important to have all these serums. It's important to do things for my self-care. But what's gonna move the needle in terms of self-care for me, in terms of mindset and making me happy and making me successful, in terms of my self-care? What's gonna move my needle? Regularly drinking water. What's gonna move my needle? One thing that I do every single week that's gonna be beneficial to my self-care. What's gonna move my needle? Maybe having a routine where I use 1 or 2 serums every single night. Eating healthy. Going to bed at a nice hour. Waking up at a nice hour, right? These are all things that are gonna add to my gas tank, that are gonna fill my gas tank up to the top. Let's say I'm at a half a tank and I don't use self-care at all. I don't use any of my serums at all for an entire month. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to use all the serums, right? We think like, oh, that's gonna fill my tank all the way up to the top. No, it's not. You just added water to your entire tank. You just filled your tank up with water, right? I filled my tank up with water because I didn't necessarily need to use 15 serums or however many serums I used yesterday. I used everything I had yesterday. I was like, this will help me. But that wasn't filling my gas tank. That wasn't at all. That was I just added water. That's all I did. The more your life is going to move the needle. You have a stack of files that you need to get through. Is this going to move the needle? No. Is this important? Yes. Is this going to move the needle? No. Is this important? No. Is this going to move the needle? Yes. Right? And so you check everything, every single thing that you do when you're cleaning the house. Is deep cleaning my bathtub going to move the needle? No. Is it important? Yes. It needs to be done, but it doesn't need to be done right now. Is taking the trash out going to move the needle? Yes. Does it need to be done right now? Yes. Do it now. So, oh my gosh, what to make decisions, right? You're going to make decisions on the fly because you're just going to be like, is this moving the needle? Is this moving the needle? Is this applying gasoline or is this applying water? Is it important? Yes. Put it over there. Just because it doesn't move the needle, it's important to think about that. You know what you think about this? And then we've done inventories of our lives already. I want you to do that daily inventory of when every time you pick something up to go do this, is this going to move the needle? We can do it in our diets. We can open the refrigerator. Do I want a box of raspberries with whipped cream all over it? Yes. Is that going to move my needle? Well, it's going to cure my craving, but is it going to be beneficial for my body? No. Do I want it? Yes. Is it going to move my, right? So there's, I want coffee. Do I need coffee? No. Is it going to move my needle? Yeah, it's going to make, right? Yeah. Okay. I will see you guys soon.